We're back.
All right. We're here. Panozzo,
Sir.
you almost didn't make it. You are on deadline. What do you got going on? Promote yourself.
Well, Deadline was actually my bowling magazine, but I'm always willing to promote Billiards Digest. So that's going to the printer this week as well.
Nice.
So billiardsdigest.com. Get it while they're hot.
So you're not pulling it back and changing everything based off of the new news today?
I am making some last-minute edits, and I'm waiting for some other news to come tonight that might drop in there.
Other news that's coming tonight. Wow, what's going on?
Not at liberty to say. Sorry.
Ooh,
What a dog.
Next podcast.
Oh, coming from you, Mike. Anyone but you can say that. Anyone but you can say
it's
that.
a competing podcast news break. Yes.
Wow.
No,
you're gonna tell us off air, right?
For sure.
Well, I'm just waiting for some updated announcements on stuff that's already come out, but just some updates. So hopefully
Okay.
Oh, wow.
in the print.
So once that gets available, where are we gonna find it?
Well, you'll probably get it, but by the time the magazine comes out, you will have had it for things like your podcast. So I'll still be late.
Well, we're promoting you right now.
I know. You're doing a hell of a job, aren't I?
Yeah, you're crushing it, man. You're absolutely crushing
No wonder circulation's lagging.
it. Yeah, I guess. I'm waiting for my first magazine. I signed up. I'm gonna get me some Billiard Digest magazines. I'm excited for that.
There you go. Think how much smarter you're going to be about the game after you start getting this every month.
Wow, I might actually know like 10% of what I'm talking about at that point.
I'll take the under.
Listen here, pal. Well, here we go. Everybody go out and get your subscription to Billiards Digest too, because why not? There he is. Get it.
Thank you.
There you go.
All right.
There it is.
Let's see here. Let's get started. How exciting is this? 714/713. Who really knows what it's going to be? I guess originally I said it can't be 714, or I said it had to be 714 because I just feel like if you pot a ball, you pot a ball when you're doing stuff like this. Even if you scratch, I just feel like that kills your inning at that point. You still potted the ball. But like I'm kind of being talked back on that, and I feel like it's probably 713.
Well,
I don't know.
But
regardless.
Did he not pot the ball on his scratch?
He made the ball, but he's
the break ball, so that doesn't count.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
So 714, that's 51 racks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made the break ball and scratched. Yeah.
Yeah. So the break ball doesn't count, so it's 714.
Correct.
Oh yeah. That's
Don't piss off Mike.
Yeah.
Too early.
Just want to keep moving along.
I had asked because of the -1 from the scratch, but then some people were saying that it doesn't matter because it's not the competition. It's
not competition. I would say
the run just ends right then and
there.
there. But
he did lose the ball. He would have had 715 had he not scratched. He made the break ball, right? So
right.
Yeah. I could even make an argument that if you pot the ball, you pot the ball. I mean, I get that. I don't know.
There was one thing I noticed that was striking when I watch people play straight pool. I played Willie one time, and the one thing I really concentrated on when he was breaking the balls, what was the cue ball going to do when it hit the rack? And when he broke, pretty much the cue ball did the same thing every single time he broke, and that would be it would hesitate, balls would break open, and then it would roll forward into the rack about 3 or 4 inches and stop. So Willie would have a shot at any 6 pockets, any ball in any one of the 6 pockets that he wanted. Normally the corner 2 pockets, he would have a ball in either one that he wanted to shoot next. Jayson, a couple of racks did that. And I just don't see that when I watch straight pool anymore, that happening, people getting the cue ball to force itself in to the center of the rack and push the balls out. And they usually deflect off the rack, go to a rail, and come back up. And then you have chances of scratching, where Willie, when he broke the balls, hardly ever scratched.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I talked to Jayson before he went down I talked to him after Turning Stone, and he was talking about going down to Virginia to play in the straight pool and to take his shots at the record. And one thing that he said, and I don't know if this has any impact on why he started breaking, like you were talking about, keeping the cue ball in center, is because he said that he was told that the packets were 5-inch and they play like 6. And he said his big concern was scratching off the break shots because those packets were big enough to swallow up the cue ball if it got anywhere near. So I'm guessing at some point he made a conscious effort to try to keep the cue ball in the middle of the table because he was worried about those packets. And sure enough, when he did scratch to end a run, it was on a break shot.
Sure.
And it was
but it was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal because he goes up table and then it comes all the way back down.
Yeah.
Sure. And it never swayed from the exact heart of that pocket. So it'll tell you how good that table's playing, that it's traveling. What is it? It's traveling, close to 10 foot, 11 foot. And that ball never even wiggled. It was going straight
when it passes the side pocket, he's like, oh no.
Right.
There's got to be like two parts, and I'll ask this question to Jason. Jason will join the podcast in the next couple of days, I would assume. He's usually always good about coming on whenever we ask him to, and I want to know like what was going through his head when he's looking at that. Like, I'm sure part of it's got to be like, damn it, this is how it ends. Come on, I got to sit here and stare at the ball just coming straight at me. Like, it's a torturous way to lose. But like part of it, I mean, he's got to have a little bit of like almost like relief that he's done. The exhaustion is done. He's played all through the night, 11 hours straight. Like, he's got to be exhausted. Like, he has got to be exhausted. It's 8 a.m. There, I think. Sometimes it was like 8 a.m. there. He played all through the night.
He didn't seem like it while, when I tuned in at like 7:00 this morning, because he seemed like he was still fired up. But I'm sure once that ball went in the hole and he realizes it's over, then it was just, I'm sure it hit him like a ton of bricks,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up. I woke up to go and because I'm a big tennis fan. So the Australian's going on right now. And I wake up in the morning, check some tennis scores. And I look on Facebook and I see a notification. It was Telfer submitting a post to the Dunsky Dungeon, and I was like, what the hell is Jim submitting a post for? He's not on a podcast right now. Maybe he's playing. So I happened to click on it, and then that's whenever I saw that. And I think at that time he was somewhere around like 570. So I'm glad that I, with one eye open, was there checking it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. I mean, Mike knows because he's a fan of baseball, and I grew up watching baseball, and it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And certain numbers are just sacred and immortal. And, these high runs of 14.1, which is the foundation of our sport. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, man.
Yeah. Well, 714 was the big number in baseball, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty poetic.
14.
Really quick.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Really quickly before we continue on, I want to give a huge shout out to Abdullah Kandari. Thank you very much for the stars. And then we haven't had this request for a long time, but let's see here. Where is it? Somebody asked us to actually give our names. So David Shivak, I guess I'm Neight Mindham. I am the founder of Cue It Up podcast, or Cue It Up Network, I guess. Mike Panozzo, you can go next.
Mike Panozzo from Billiards Digest in Chicago.
Rob, go on.
I'm Rob Hovick. I was asked by Nate, about 3.5 years ago to be a co-host for the Cue It Up podcast. And after a deliberation of like a month, I got back to him with, sure.
Well, no, you got back to me with, what the hell's a podcast?
I can see that.
That is what I said, yes.
I've been researching it for a month. I still can't figure it out. All right. And then Molina Mike.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at Brady Bunch style.
I was asked to go and join in, and, with slim pickings, and I was free during the day. So here I am.
And it's going on 2 years straight now. Yeah.
There you go.
So you have a windows open for tennis as well?
No, I'll just gamble online on tennis.
Hey,
but I love
guys,
there's a lot of parallels when it comes to pool and tennis. And
I
that's
mentioned
why I love
this
it so
to
much.
Nate the other day, and of course he shot me down. But the one thing that struck this whole tennis thing in Australia and all that, and the COVID stuff, was that it's on national news every day, every station. And I don't remember hearing Earl Strickland's name mentioned one time on any national news broadcast. about his COVID thing and the Mosconi Cup. And that kind of stuck in my craw a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe we can get 60 minutes on the Dennis Orcolo case.
There you go.
That too.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, it was a little similar what happened to Novak, but tennis is tennis, man. We're not there yet.
Slightly bigger name.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Richard Carbon as well. Thank you very much for the stuff. Appreciate that. I guess Panozzo, you've been covering the industry just a little bit longer than we have, being 43 years old like you are. Why don't you tell us, I guess, first, take us through, John breaking it and what that meant to you and what you thought that meant to the industry. And now, what is it, about 2 years later, not even 2 years later, it's broken again. Take us through, I guess, what you think this means off of that.
Well, I think what this means is pretty simple, that these guys are good enough where if they devoted the time and the effort to pretty much any record that's out there, it would be in threat of being topped. And I think, give John credit, John Schmidt a lot of credit, because, his desire to break Mosconi's record was such a personal thing to him. That's what I found really so interesting about that. He was a historian and he loved straight pool, and his story was really cool. And if he doesn't do that, we're not having these contests today. We're not having a lot of this straight pool action today. We're not having this interest in what's happening today that we have. So, you give John credit for both, his love of the game and his desire to break that record on a very personal basis. And then what it did to the sport going forward, it certainly didn't transcend the sport like we had hoped it had. It did for a couple of minutes, New York Times, whatever, but it didn't have the impact we were hoping. But it in the pool world, it was still a big deal and brought a lot of people to talk about it. And, these straight pool runs since then that these guys are taking the time to play straight pool and make those runs, I think that's really cool.
I think they're incentivized, aren't they? I mean, they're not just saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll sign up." Like they're dangling the carrot.
There's got to be something in front of
them. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think these fellas in Virginia, have when Jayson was talking to me about going down there after Turning Stone, he said these guys have, gotten friends together and they pooled a bunch of money and they've got this private club and they're bringing a couple of players in and you can go in there and you can take, as many shots as you want. And they've got a referee and a racker and constant video and go ahead and take a run at it. And if you break that number, then, you're going to get the money. You're going to get all the money that's in the pot in the pool. So there's incentive. And Jayson said, he was actually going to go, he told me he was going to go play in Arizona in the Predator event. But it was filled up by the time he thought he would give it a shot. And so he said, I'm going to go to Virginia. And I think that's a great warm up for going to Derby City. He said, I'll play straight pool for 5 days and then go to Derby City and I'll be in, dead punch. So now it's going to be whether he's got the stamina to make it through Derby City after his 5 days of straight pool runs, because he threw some big numbers up there.
Yeah. There's nothing better
that he could break it
for pocketing balls than playing straight pool. Look how many you can pocket in an hour. You can't play 9-ball and pocket as many balls as you can in straight pool in an hour. And practice and playing pool is all about pocketing balls. Nate, you want to win some more tournaments, buddy? You go start trying to run 100 balls on a 9-foot table, and you'll get there.
I couldn't run 100 balls in straight pool if you gave me 100 innings. Stop that. Okay. I guess Molina Mike, what do you think of that? What do you think of what he said?
Yeah, I mean, Panozzo makes a lot of great points. None of this happens without John. And for as much as he gets it online from people, without him going and taking a swing at it and beating Willie Mosconi's record, then none of this goes and happens. Now, his issue with the guy who's running it and Bobby Chamberlain, and that's why he wants to get incentivized guys to go and play. That's between them. But either way, like just from a purist standpoint, I love seeing records get broken, and it was really special to go and be able to watch it, which is something that, we can't say with John's for whatever reason. He's got his own reasoning behind keeping that video to himself. It kind of like like Mike said at the beginning, it was kind of a shot in the arm for Poole, but it didn't take long for it to go and lose its luster because, nobody could really go and see it. And I really think it would have been better served. And who knows how he'll go on the field now. I don't want to say it's meaningless, but it's not going to be the same because now Jayson just, demolished it the way that he did. But yeah, I mean, Jayson, what can you say, man? He's a warrior. To put on that kind of marathon with 2 kids, I don't know how you do it, And I think he was already, if I understand it right, he was already done. He's packing up to go home, and then he says, you know what, I'm going to give it one more swing. And then, he ends up going and hitting 714. So, yeah, he's going to be in dead punch for Derby City. But I wonder how much like his aiming towards 5 inches is going to be different compared to going and playing on those tables. I might imagine he might have to go and fine tune some things, but it's a special day in pool.
From what I watched of his play, almost every single shot he shot was straight in the middle of the hole. And no matter what kind of pockets they were or anything else, he was playing with fire there at the end. Like it wasn't the cleanest at the end. And I remember there was like a 4-ball, that 4-ball, yeah. That 4-ball, man, where it was like it ain't gonna go, and it stays, yeah, and then it stays, and all of a sudden it just goes in there.
That one was like a diamond.
Real quick, Jim, I want to thank you because if it wasn't for you going and sharing that video this morning, I would have never seen it because I would have gone back to bed. So I saw you sharing a post, and it popped up on my thing, and then I was like,
on the Legends of Pool Facebook page, they were announcing that they couldn't live stream it anymore. So they were giving some updates. So I said to him, I says, surely one of you's got a telephone. Surely one of you's got an iPhone. You can just stick it in front of the table or stick it in front of your screen and give us something to watch. 10 minutes later, they did it. So then, yeah. So, and then they had like about 58 viewers. And the guy who was doing it saying, we've only got 58 viewers here. I know everybody's getting awake, but can people share this? So I shared to all the pool groups like I have with here, and it went to like 1K in like 3 minutes. It was like, boom, ding, 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 the ticker going up. Amazing. I never expected to see that today. I knew Jayson was playing well, and he was hitting some big numbers over the last few days. But like Mike said, I thought he was done. And then all of a sudden he decided, you know what, I'm not done. I want one more crack at this. And he's played for like 10 hours. And then just at the end of the 10 hours, he's just gone completely mental. I mean, the speed he was playing at. And I mean, we all have, as players, we have.
He made it look so easy.
But we all have our own personal records. And I can promise you, just from playing myself, you get to a certain stage in your run where you think, this might be it. And then your head starts messing with you. And one thing I noticed about Jayson was he kept playing the right shots. Because in straight pool, the right shot is not always the easiest shot that you have left over. Yeah. And he kept playing the right shots. He kept taking on those full length cross corner shots when it was an easier shot. And that is playing proper straight pool. That is playing the game and not playing the situation that you're in.
Removing balls from certain areas.
Really, really well. There was no moment where I thought he's starting to change things because he's getting close. And you see that with a lot of players. When they get to that mark that they're looking for, they start to slightly change the speed they're playing at. They change their shot selection to be a little bit more defensive. He didn't do that. He just went all out. There was one shot he played. I thought, that's not how you've been hitting it all match. If you look at his break shot on the rack to beat the 626. So he just needs one more break shot, and it was
real flat.
It was real flat, real soft, and he was kind of lucky that he got a ball because then he had to go in. He had to go into the pack two or three more times. Right. He hit that a lot softer and a lot more defensive, and that was the one he knew. Just don't. I'm sure he was just thinking, don't scratch. Just give me a table to shoot at. Give me a ball, and I'll get this 626. And he had to go in the pack a couple other times.
And his cue ball ended up going way up the table, right?
Yeah, but the rest of the breaks he was playing, he was leaving himself such an angle. He was just saying, I just pot the ball, and these are going everywhere. And like I said to Nate earlier on, if you want some guy to turn around to a guy and say, all you need to do is pot this ball, Shaw's the guy you're going to tell.
Some of those break shots were just beautiful. I mean, it just opened up like, it was just wide open.
Every time. And he knew exactly what angle he needed. He left kind of the same break shot, depending on which side of the table. Pretty much the same shot every time. And he knew it was a safe one.
Yeah.
You know,
and
then
you
it was just
noticed,
the last
Jim,
one.
that he would leave a ball, 1 or 2 balls between either side pocket for the ball before the break ball almost every time too.
I've got to say, I'm quite impressed. I mean, I know Jayson's the kind of guy he can play any game you ask him to play, but I didn't actually realize that he was tactically as good at straight pull as what he showed during that run. He got himself in situations. Yeah, he's fair, but he can get himself out of problems, but he played it the way it should be played.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he didn't stop doing it. And he found a rhythm on that table. He found, you know, there was a couple of times he had to come out with shots where you were thinking this might be a tester, and he just got down and straight in the center of the pocket. And that's what his firepower does. He can get himself out of situations that other players maybe get afraid of. But wow,
he blew his previous high run by 300 balls. Like, that's crazy. He goes from 407 to 714. I mean,
this week he broke his previous high run by about 500 balls. Just this week.
I wish we had Dennis back. I wish Dennis was coming back. I think
he started on like 230. Before he started on this week, he was on 230, I think, is a high run.
Well, what's going to happen here, I believe, fellas, is we're going to see some of these top players now trying to get another number.
1,000 balls.
I think that's what we're going to see. John Schmitts started it.
Well, I'd love to go and see
Jayson Shaw continued it, and I think you're going to see some players now trying to do that. They're going to try.
We're going to need a lot of We're going to need a lot of manscapes to keep all those clean. That's all I know.
Hey, apparently Jason's in the chat. Jason, send him the link, Nate. Jason's in the chat. Send him the link.
Get him on.
Get him on here.
Well, I don't know. Is he worthy? You think 714 is worth joining the podcast for? I'm not.
I mean, it was a pretty shitty break shot that he played on rack 52. I mean, it is a standard. It is a standard break shot.
And it's just coming.
Everybody knows you're going to scratch on that kind of break shot. I mean, come on, Jason. Right. You're not Torsten Homan. I mean, come on, you don't play that kind of break shot.
So, Jim. Funny. We actually had somebody that wanted to introduce everyone. So I guess jump in real quick and actually say who you are. And I guess, I don't know why you're here if you want. Somebody requested that. So go ahead. We weren't here for the beginning.
We've all wanted that from Jim.
Yeah, some sushi
what you
there?
got for us there, Jimmy? Jimmy, my lad. You got some food for us now.
I'm Jim Telfer, and I'm just here to eat sushi and drink wine.
Good on you, pal.
It's like 8 o'clock at night where you are.
Yeah, I've just been feeding the baby. I got a new baby. I'll bring her in when she's finished feeding me.
Oh, beautiful. Do that.
4 days old. 4 days old.
There's so many. There's so many factors to go and appreciate from all this, you know, because Jayson really made it look easy at times, you know, from the past few days of me watching him go and play on that table. And it's just his talent is just so high. What a great start to the year, you know, and who knows, this may go and springboard him into many more successes for 22, you know?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, what is it going to do to his he was already a pretty confident pool player. And
hold on,
now,
really
where's his confidence going to go?
Yeah.
Right through the roof.
Wow. Thank you very much to Eves as well for the stars. Appreciate that. I want to give a shout out as they come in. So thank you very much for that. And I mean, you know, Jayson's already maybe the most confident pool player in the world. Does this help? Does he need this to, you know, help him out with that? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think this did anything for his safety game.
No.
Well, I'll tell you this: if he pots balls as well as he does, what the hell you need to play a safety for?
You don't
every shot you shoot at.
No.
Listen, I'll tell you what. Knowing Jayson, he'll be delighted that he's done it, but he won't be surprised. I think he almost expected to do it.
No, well, he called his shot though. I saw him on a post the other day where he was pretty much calling it, saying that he was going to go and break it. Yeah. And in my head, I was like, that's a little ambitious. And he put his money where his mouth is and backed it up. And, you know, a couple of days later, you know, he's smashing records, man. I mean, how strong is that? It's phenomenal.
How good is this for incredible. Pool? Come on.
Well, All right, well let's take it from there. I guess we talked about like what our reaction to it. What do we think this means for pool? Do you think so? We were a little bit disappointed, I guess, in the lack of if that pool had, I think, from the John Schmidt time. But I've already given my opinion on that a lot of the times in the past. Maybe if we had the opportunity to see the video, things would have been different. Who knows? I don't know. Assuming that the video is made available.
Well, you had an opinion on that, didn't you, Nate?
Yeah, I may or may not have had an opinion on that, and I may or may not have said it about 50 times to
to
anybody who will listen.
I'm sure there's people watching that didn't catch it first time. Go ahead. I'm just eat my sushi. I'll listen.
Yeah, go ahead, right? Yeah.
Mike Panozzo, here's your comment. 714 Club.
So, I guess assuming the video is released and everybody can see it, what do you guys think it's going to happen for the industry? Molina Mike, you can start. What do you think?
Unfortunately, I don't think a whole lot because the record isn't really coveted like it was with Willie Mosconi. That's true. For whatever reason, I think within the industry, and I'm sure whenever everybody sees him at Derby, that'll be the first thing they go and tell Jayson. And that'll be the buzz. Of Derby City will be Jayson's accomplishments, and rightfully so. But outside of it, it's unfortunate, but I don't think it'll really do a whole lot for it. The game and the players just aren't where they need to be at right now in order to get that, recognition and exposure on the next level, whether it's from media or fans, But guys like Jayson are the guys that can go and get people excited for them watching because his style of play is fun to go and watch. His personality when he's at the Mosconi Cup is fun to watch. We talk about his confidence, but he can make balls. He can put the balls in the hole. He's got a big break, and I don't think he's afraid of anybody. Yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing Jayson go and play in more majors now. Like, I'm ready for Derby City. He's coming off of a Bigfoot challenge. I want to see him play in that. I think I'm hoping he'll have big successes there too, and just have a killer run in 22, and it's going to start next week. But unfortunately, I don't think it'll do much outside of the pool world.
Panozzo, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't know why we would think it would do anything outside the pool world. I mean, even John breaking Mosconi's record, that was really cool because Mosconi, to old newspaper guys was kind of a known name, and it was a 50-year-old record and things like that. So you could get a little bit of mileage on it. But I don't think even then anybody expected it all of a sudden to turn on the spigot to, legions and legions of new fans and sponsorship money and things like that. Right. That was never going to happen. It was, can you get a couple more eyeballs on the sport, get the sport a little recognition? And it did. And this, most of the impact is in the sport. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, it's fun to see people excited. It's fun to see people talk about it. It's fun to see people want to see someone else try to break it now. Can Phil or take a run at it, whatever it is. It's good to get people in our sport excited and to keep them excited. And with the Matchroom announcement, which I think has, the chance for a lot longer legs as far as helping, grow the sport. Right. All this stuff has to play hand in hand to generate excitement in the sport. And hopefully that draws some people in from outside the sport and you start to just build your numbers. But, there's no lightning in the bottle from, a 10-hour straight pool run. Sorry.
Well, Rob, you grew up playing straight pool. Do you agree, or what do you think?
Yeah, it was pretty much the first 5 or 6 years from the time I was 14 till about 19. Straight pool was the only game that was played at that time, and so everybody was Willie Mosconi was the name of the game, and his number was held up until John did it. And you're right about outside of the pool world not really being aware too much, but I do think that this is going to seep out. It just is. It just has to, because of the weight of it and the enormity of what he did, and that these other top players now in the world, there's a bar set for them now. There's a challenge out there set. It's not a verbal challenge come and beat me. But individually, pool is an individual sport where it is one person against a table. And now you have this bar. It's not 626 anymore. It's 714. And there are going to be professional players that are going to want to be that guy that breaks that bar. And sooner or later, the rest of the sporting world is going to get a glimpse at that. It's like, how many 300 games can you bowl in a year? Can you bowl 20? You know, that if you do that, somebody else outside of bowling is going to hear about that. So I think this is going to have an effect, just the number itself, and the fact Jayson did it, of course, because he's because the Moscone Cup and a lot of other tournaments he's in. He's well known throughout the world for his pool prowess. And the pool world is for the next month, this is going to be something that's pumping everybody up, but it's going to seep through. I just know it is. I might hear something. My wife might even say something to me about this, and she cares nothing about pool. So that's an indicator to me. Like, what did he do? What happened? How many balls? What's straight pool?
I've been seeing it on even snooker pages too.
Snooker pages.
Where they're showing Jayson some love, and which that's massive for pool for me.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I think if
personally,
anybody
I'm really excited.
Yeah. I think if anybody in the industry has any connections anywhere, get Jayson on some talk shows. Try to get him on a morning show. Try to get him on TV somewhere to talk about this. I think Raymond said it perfectly in the chat, and Raymond is a phenomenal 14.1 player in his own right. I think he said it perfectly. This has got to be marketed. It's got to be marketed, and if anybody in the world has any pull with anyone, anything in the mainstream, like a producer.
Yeah, but
on
part of
anything,
sport though, Nate,
shit.
is watching it happen. Like that's part.
Sure.
I can't go back and watch a baseball game when it's over and I already know the score. It's not as special to me.
Sure,
like the marketing had to have been done leading up to
but
it.
We're not. We're not talking about that though, right? We're not talking about that. What we're talking about really here is talking about the act of it happening, right? And Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor, they'll go on talk shows after they beat the heck out of somebody, and you're just basically talking about the act of it happening, right? I mean, if you could get Jayson, somebody said Joe Rogan. Why not? Like, that seems to be the one thing that Joe Rogan might actually be interested in. I don't know if he knows, Jayson Shaw at all, but how amazing would it be if you could get him on the Joe Rogan Experience, even just for like a couple of hours or even just a couple of minutes.
At least Joe Rogan himself could get excited about it because he's played a bit,
Yeah.
You put him on a talk show with a host that's never played the game before. How do you get them to feel excited about it and look excited about it,
Right.
Well, I feel like people are constantly looking for content, It's interesting, if nothing else. I mean, I think somebody else said it in the chat earlier, like more people now are playing pool than ever before. The thing is, like, there's obviously an interest in it.
Yeah.
Are people interested in what's happening in the idea of it? Probably not. But, even if, what is it? Like, there's like a stat that like 50 million people play at least one game of pool a year. It would 500,000 of those people that
how many
don't play regularly,
how many of those players are
it?
playing 14.1 though?
None.
Where's Jackie
9 ball and
Gleason
10 ball are the games that are being marketed right now. Especially 9 ball.
At the end of the day, I really, really hope that this can be really, really beneficial for the game, and that it gets some outside of the pool world kind of attention. But really, even though it's a bigger number, it's not as big how do I say this correctly? It's not a big a deal as what John Schmidt did, because John Schmidt broke a record that stood for years and years and years and years and years. By Jayson breaking it this quickly, it kind of devalues a little bit what it is. You would have kind of hoped that John Schmidt's record would have lasted for a little bit longer. And I even said it myself on Facebook, and I got on a couple of groups, and I said, well, I believe 626 a great number. All respect to John for shooting 626. But again, straight pool is unlimited in how much you can run. You have to have some rolls, you have to have a little bit of luck, and you've got to be damn good at the game. and be playing on the right equipment. That really, John was only one ball away from making 627. You know, Jayson's only a scratch away from maybe hitting 1,000.
900 maybe, yeah.
We don't
Who
know
knows?
Who knows? So as much as it's a big number, and I said as well, says if somebody was to put up, why are these players not all trying for it? You know, okay,
they will now, I think, Jim. You know, because
But
imagine getting like some young eyes on playing on that, on some
But
young
they
eyes
will.
with a bunch of talent on that table.
but they will. Sorry, the players who are capable of doing it will try it, depending on how successful Jayson is from it financially, normally. You know, and I said a couple of months ago, I got in a discussion. I said, listen, if somebody put up $1 million for somebody to shoot 1,000, every single player would try it. Yeah. And in doing that, somebody would break the 626. It would just happen because everybody's trying it over and over and over and over again because they want to get that 1 million for shooting 1,000. And in doing so, somebody's going to get to the 626. Whether they get to 1,000 or not, you don't know.
Right. And what happened to you when you said that, Jim?
I got slated for it. I got abused. I got called all sorts of names. Really, seriously.
Oh.
Because it was seen as being disrespectful. And I'm not being disrespectful to the 626.
No, not at all.
It's just it's a fantastic achievement. Who's really trying to and I'm quite surprised.
For $1 million, Shane would get off the lake to probably try it.
For $1 million, rotation would die. Rotation pool would die until it was taken, until somebody got it. Oh, really? All they'd be doing is playing straight pool. And if you put these top guys in the world playing only straight pool for like 2 months, somebody's going to hit 1,000. Yeah. But until then, until there's proper money involved in it, they're not going to try it. And I'm actually surprised it's happened so quickly that John's record's gone. Because I mean, I don't know what kind of deal Jayson had with the venue where he was playing at. But as far as I'm aware, he was just doing it just for the challenge and because he had a spare few days or whatever. I think he's getting something for it.
I think somebody needs to talk to that billionaire out there in New York who had that 3-cushion tournament, who offered $500,000 for the winner of it. And you know, I think Pedro made 30 grand, came in 6th place. The winner got, I don't know, 150 grand. But this guy's got money to burn. Come on, he could do this.
But you know, this 714, if players really want to try for it, this might only stand for a couple of months.
Yeah, don't tell me that.
As big a number as it is, it might only stand for a couple of months.
Don't tell me that if you put Dennis, Filler, Fedor, Shane, even like a player like Sky, don't tell me, and Jayson on his own thing, don't tell me if you put those 6 players playing every single day, 10 hours a day trying to break a record, don't tell me that 714 is safe either.
No.
I just don't.
There's only a few guys with that kind of mental strength to go and do what Jayson did. Like, don't get it. Don't go and devalue it like that, because what Jayson's ability to go and stay focused throughout that run, only a few players go and have, like the Dennises of the world.
Yeah.
But Jayson,
that's what I'm saying. If your goal is 1,000 and $1 million is on the line,
well, that's got to be the next great number, though, right? That's like,
Jayson,
we're not gonna have a buzz again until we get to 1,000. Come on, Panozzo, you know I'm right.
But Jayson will take.
Here's my thing. If you can get someone to put up $1 million, do you want him to
Jayson
do it
alone will break 714.
I mean, come on.
Bingo. I'm with you, Mike.
Yeah. No, my argument was that is what it would take to get all the players to try it.
Yeah, if you put up $1 million, you can.
Yes, and then it'll be broken.
Put any contest you want around pool, and everybody would try it until they die.
Exactly.
So my point is, what is the point of everyone continuing to go after it? It's not. It doesn't serve a purpose.
Well, they're competitors.
Does it serve a purpose? Oh, fine. You want to be competitive? All you want, but.
Yeah.
Would having everybody drop everything they do to try to get to 1,000 straight pool, what purpose would it serve for pool going forward? I don't see it. If someone's going to put up $1 million, let me put it into this 9-ball tour that we're trying to get going, or let me invest it in television production, whatever it is.
It's the 1960s space race.
I think it would push pool over the boundaries of just a fringe sport.
I don't think so.
Actually, I think it would.
I don't think so either.
Not even a competition. It's not even a competition. It's not a tour. It's not a league. It's just a bunch of guys chasing a record. I don't see how that benefits the sport in the long run.
Well,
I mean, I love
there was a comment on here. There was a comment on here saying that Jayson will be Mr. 1000 by the end of the year. I can guarantee you won't. The only way Jayson will ever be Mr. 1000 is if somebody goes over the top of the 714, because he's not going to do it again while he's still got the record, unless there's a lot of money on the line for him to do it. He's not. You probably won't see him even play a straight pull match over the 200 points until somebody beats the 714.
Why would he? He's already at 700. I'd never play straight pull again until somebody goes and beats it. Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's it. And it's only it could get beaten and beaten it, but I mean, you don't know. I mean, there's players that can do it. Fedor can do it. Jayson can do it again, but he won't until somebody else beats it, or somebody offers a massive amount of money, like we said, to reach the 1,000, which I don't really see happening. Yeah. Carl Boys, is it just me who thinks it's boring? Well, Carl, that's because you can't get over 50, pal. So yeah.
Hey, be respectful to him. He is a world champion. Don't you dare talk bad about him like that.
Yeah, 8-ball. Anyone can run around the 8-ball.
All right. I guess. Well, I think this is an interesting thing. Let's actually all just give go around and just say yes or no. Is 714 safe given the current climate of not having like $1 million on the line or whatever? Let's just say, is 714 safe? Jim, yes or no?
I genuinely hope so, because it starts to get a little bit silly if it's getting broken too often. It makes it sound like a game that's only just started being played, kind of thing, if the record keeps getting broken. So I hope it lasts a little bit longer, but that's going to be up to. I would think that's probably going to be up to Mr. Filler. I don't think anyone else gets really near it at the moment.
You don't think Dennis can?
Don't think he tries.
The money was right. He tried.
Sorry?
You don't
if
think
the money was right.
But that's it. It's all about money. And I don't know how much these guys are getting paid appearance-wise, or if they break records. I don't know how much they're getting. So it's impossible for me to say whether or not Dennis would be attracted to do it. I did notice on the stream they mentioned players that they wanted to get in, and Dennis's name was not mentioned. Filler, Appleton, who else was mentioned as possibilities to get in?
Probably
Ruslan. I'm not sure if John Schmidt now gets an invitation to try and break it back, but I'm pretty sure his relationship with the people who are organising this is not great. So out of the names that were certainly mentioned, Filler is a danger if he really wants to go at it, based on the fact that he apparently runs 200 balls every single time every day he decides to practice, he runs 200 balls. So he'd be the danger.
I mean, Johan's in the reason I asked this question is Johan is in the chat saying that it's not going to get broken. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, how many people said 626 wouldn't get broken?
At some point in time, it's going to get up high enough, and then
it's easy to say that now, Jim.
One thing I can tell you, nobody's going to do that quickly, other than Filler.
Why not Fedor?
Why not Fedor? Guy had an average shot time of about 8 seconds.
Yeah, but why not Fedor? I mean, if Fedor broke it, let's just say Fedor broke and ran 800 balls. It would take him 4 days to do it.
But what are you basing?
Are we going to say that he doesn't have the talent to?
But what are you basing Fedor on? What are you basing your Fedor as a pick on? Have you ever seen him play the ball straight? Have you ever seen him play?
Who's shooting the ball straighter than him?
It's straight pull. See, and this is it. This is the thing with straight pull. Unless you've,
I don't know.
Hold on a minute, because Federer's learned a lot of games. So, like, if he devoted the time, he's a great one pocket player right now. He's a great Banks player right now. If you give him some time, he's going to be able to go and pick apart that puzzle.
Listen,
how do we know that he doesn't play it already?
All these top guys are going to end up walking away with their own personal record. Going there and playing on that table for 6 days straight, they're all going to walk away with their own personal record.
I might even be able to run over 10 balls on that table.
Do I think there's multiple players capable of 714? I think there's less than we're able 626. Put it that way.
Make the money right.
You can name who you want. I mean, who's to say John Schmidt couldn't come back and go over the top of it?
Well, he wants to. I think he said it. He said it on Facebook already.
He
also said he hasn't played pool in like months. So I mean,
okay, but was the table he played on, was it tougher than the table Jayson played on? I mean, that's the questions that people start asking and stuff like that, you know. And Jayson hit some balls on that table that would have stayed up on his Rason. That would have stayed up on my table. Would have stayed up on the
for sure.
would have stayed up in a 7-foot valley, you know. So I mean, your equipment makes a lot of difference as well. Yeah.
Look at him bark in the chat. He
Yes,
says,
Jason, 714 is here to stay.
He's going to beat that too. There you go. But he puts his money where his mouth is. He's not just saying it to go and say it. He said, I'm going to beat 626, and he goes and does it. He's saying that in the chat. I believe the man.
Yeah.
And Carl, Boys is back on here again saying that Jay runs 1,000 before the end of the year. Why would he? Why would he even try? He's got the record, and he's not getting paid for the 1,000. Jason's record.
I think because Fedor is going to run 874. Then he's going to try to beat that.
Yeah, Jason's personal record will stay at 714 until somebody beats 714.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's it. Simple as that.
He's not going to try to beat his own record, no. But I do think it'll get broke.
The 714.
Yep.
Well, there's no limit to what you can shoot on straight pull. I mean, what I would like to see if they're going to be talking about legitimate records and stuff like that, they have to start talking about, you know, the equipment's being used as well. Yeah. Because, you know, somebody jumps in there with a 5.5-inch pocket, they're going to run some pretty high runs as well.
You know what I think help Jason.
Now we've got everybody in the chat. We got Fedor in here. We got Johan Riosink. We got Carl.
Yeah, but the reason why they're using that size of a pocket was because that's what John did based off of the information
Willie did.
From Willie did. Yeah,
Willie tried to make it as close to Willie Mosconi. Sure. And I agree with that. I don't care what the pocket is, but if you're going to make a list of records, they all have to be played on exactly the same equipment. If you're going to put people on a list, the only way you get on that list is if you play on the same or tougher equipment.
Right.
What was that? You know,
there was that argument when John had 626 too. There was a lot of talk about that in the pool.
Yeah, but Willie
different circumstances, different equipment.
Willie did it on an 8-foot. Willie did it on an 8-foot with 5-inch buckets. But you can also turn around and say that might be tougher with clusters that you might get and stuff like that. So
more clusters, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
yeah, there's some arguments on all sides with the equipment issue for sure. The mere fact that it was done, that he did it, is.
I love the conversation.
That's just huge. Honestly, that's just huge. And now somebody else will try to do it. And here's the little baby, the new little baby girl. Oh,
this is Lily. This is Lily. Everyone say hello, Lily.
Yeah. Over a week, she'll run 7:15.
Come on, Dad, break the record.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. 4 days old, and she's sleeping.
It's taken after her dad, I see.
Yeah. Hey. No, she's so hot.
How cute.
It's Jason's day, though, man. It's a hell of an accomplishment. What he did.
That is a hell of an accomplishment.
I can't believe he's awake. I can't believe he's still awake to actually sit and watch this. Right, I'm going to take this little one to bed, and I might pop back. I might not. Yeah.
Okay, you got it, buddy.
Okay.
Cheers.
There we go. So, Panozzo, you've been quiet. Let's hear you. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, will someone break it? Sure. I mean, why not? The money's not there. There was no money at the end. You know, John Schmidt wasn't chasing money. Jayson didn't go down to Virginia to chase money. They chased.
No, John was chasing a ghost, though. He wanted to be the ghost.
John was chasing a ghost, but Jayson was just going down there to shoot and see what he could do. I think a lot of players could go shoot and see what they could do. Jayson posted that it's mentally tough to run 400 and miss and then get back up there and try again. Sure.
Yeah, it's true.
But can Fedor Gorst do it? Sure, Fedor Gorst could do it. He's young. He can stay for a week. Could a lot of these guys do it? I mean, Jim was talking about straight pool. It's a totally different game. I don't remember everybody talking about how great a straight pool player Jayson Shaw was 3 years ago. I don't even know if he played straight pool 3 years ago. So, someone could break a record like this is, get up there and try it. Someone's going to do it. People have the talent to do it, and enough players have the mental capacity to do it where it can be done. So do you have to get lucky? Sure. But, and again, I'm just going to go back to, to what end? What's the point?
That's right. What I liked about watching Jayson was he had these professional rackers who he just rolled the balls down the table and within 20 seconds he had another rack to shoot. I mean, there was no lag time between the final ball of one rack and the break ball of the next rack. I mean, it was quick. Those balls were there. And for a straight pool player with the talent that he's got, having that rhythm of pocketing those balls, continuing like that, I mean, there was just no time lapse. It's boom, 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 boom. I thought that was a pretty darn big advantage to having those racks racked for him tightly and immediately so he could just get up and keep shooting. That in the past, I don't know if that was done quite like that or not, but I would take that as a hint for the future. If anybody's going to try to break it, do it the same way.
The guy's in his 30s staying up all night. I wouldn't have been able to make 2 balls at 4 a.m. So,
when Jim's problem is the wine gets in the way.
Yeah,
he could probably do it.
Well, I think Jim would probably be about 10 bottles in, and it had nothing to do with him being thirsty. You just need to calm it. If Jim got anywhere close to 400 balls, with what he tells me, when he gets around 100 balls, if he ever got up to 400 balls, he'd be drinking a bottle of wine a rack just so he could calm himself down. I'm telling you.
I love it.
Well, I love the banter in the chat. I mean, Fedor's like real recognizing real. I mean, Fedor's saying he doesn't think he could run 400 balls ever. Nonetheless, 700. So I mean, that's real recognizing real.
That's why you see so many people in the industry go and give Jayson credit, because they can appreciate the difficulty and what happened and how special it is.
It's incredible stuff, man.
It is. It is.
Well,
it's so
I think
exciting.
I think the results of this, the results of the couple of the polls I did while we were doing this. So I asked the question to everybody watching: if the record was broken, who was most likely to break it? 50% of people said Joshua Filler, 33% of people said Fedor Gorst, and about 9% of people said either Dennis Arcoyo or someone else. They both had 9%. So 9% said Dennis and 9% said someone else. So 50% of people think that if someone were to break it, it would be Josh Filler. And a third of people said Fedor. That's pretty interesting.
So I'm in that.
What do you guys think about that?
I'm in that 9% with Arcola, right?
Yeah.
Either Arcola or somebody else, I'm good. I got 9% of the vote.
Well, it's Dennis Arcoyo has 9%, and someone else has 9%. So there's
after what Demetrius said yesterday about Fedor. I mean, he couldn't.
Well, he had a good weekend, also.
I got to give it to him.
It's interesting stuff, isn't it? It's pretty interesting stuff. What is this? Whoa. Jayson.
Oh, here we go. Congratulations. Oh, my goodness gracious.
One second.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
So how'd you flip the camera around?
Nate knows all the tricks.
So go to the little gear down at the bottom, and it should have your video, and then you should be able to switch it to your back camera.
1 second. No, right. It doesn't matter. But look, this was my little all blocked off.
Nice, man.
Cool.
No one's allowed in there, huh?
No, just me. This was my home for 5-6 days right here.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive stuff, man. How does it feel? How you feeling?
Do you feel like you've been put through a washing machine wringer?
Buckets.
Those look like Jim's pockets.
Listen. They're the same size. They're the same size as what John Schmidt had, and he had a heater on his table. So,
how you feeling, Jason?
That was awesome to watch. I was crapping myself when that 4-ball nearly didn't fall.
I know. I
was screaming at you. I was screaming at you when it was going down the rail. I thought, you fucking idiot! Not now, sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy. Like the amount of times I was on like 280, 300, 340, 360, 380, 407. It was just nuts. I kept getting like stuck in the stack, or I would have no shot, or I would have a tough shot, and if I made the ball, I would land funny. Super frustrating. Like, wanted to smash my cue up at times.
But, I mean, at what point? I mean, when you're going for a run, when you're aiming for a number, there's the first part of the run, which is just, all right, I just want to get this part over with, and then focus on maybe the middle part of the run, and then towards the. At what point do you start thinking, I'm on for this now? I'm on for the 626. What kind of number were you on when you thought, right, this is I don't want to waste what I've already done, and I want to make this one count?
So when I get to 7, that's when I start trying. I don't start trying until I get to 7.
7 racks.
I just try and play as fast as possible and try and get 7 games as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And then after that, and then when I get to 10, I don't look at the scoreboard. I just keep running.
Yeah.
And I try and keep track, but I don't try and remember. I try and just play. And then once
40 racks later.
once I get to 20, that's when I know I'm right there, because I can run 8 to 10 racks in like 20 minutes. And if the balls are opening, I'm right there. And I knew when I get to 29 the first time, then I got to 27, then I got to 26. I was on 24, 23, 22. I was right there, and I knew I had it. And I was saying to myself, man, I couldn't sleep at night. I just knew it was there. I visioned that I was playing good. I was picking the right shots. I was playing the right patterns. I was playing all the right break shots, and I figured that out pretty quickly. And then after the second day, I knew that I could definitely break it. But to run 7:14 is just unbelievable.
But when you got past the 626, did you have a number in your head where you thought, because it's easy to lose focus because you're not then aiming for anything anymore?
Well, no, I was started thinking to myself, oh, just like I've beat it, like, and it was so. I've been up nearly a full day. It's like 8, 9 in the morning, and I'm there, and I'm not even thinking about it. But when I started breaking and the balls were opening perfect, I thought, oh, this is a chance to try and put a big number up there. But I can't believe the cue ball scratched like it did.
Rolled off as well. It rolled off.
Well, it's not even that. The way I was hitting the break, when I look at it back, how I've scratched, I've hit the second last ball down in the stack, and the cue balls followed instead of hitting it full, which I've been doing every break. That's why the balls were opening pretty good, because I was hitting the second ball down, and that's why they were splitting real well.
Yeah, you were consistently leaving the same kind of break shot, which was quite nice to see. Yeah.
But yeah, people, it's not. Listen, it might around 7:14. You know, it's not easy like that. You know the amount of times that I run like 6, 7, 8 games, 9 games, 10, 11 games, and then missed, and then have to start over, and then do it again and miss again on 7 or miss on 8. It's tough. It
or
ain't
miss
easy.
on 29.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It ain't easy. Then you've just missed on 29. You know you're only like 8 racks away from doing it, and all of a sudden something funny happens, and you got to get up there and keep trying. So for the next few games, your head's all over the place. So you start playing shots that you're not even supposed to play. And like I said, it's so hard just to kind of give up. You know what I mean?
I want to ask you about that, Jayson. Like, were you chasing Willie? Were you chasing John? Or were you just like, I want to beat your own personal record?
Well, I was just trying to, put as high a number as possible that I can put up there.
Yeah.
Everybody else who's run numbers, it's amazing, because it's such a tough, like John and obviously William Mosconi, even Thorsten and all those guys, they've run like 400. It's so tough. Anything can happen at any time. Bump a ball, get stuck to a ball. Now you have to give up all the racks and restart again. It's super tough. And that's why sometimes when I play straight pool, it's hard to practice it. But doing this, it just felt like even if I broke down at some point and screwed up or was like 350, I know I'm getting multiple chances to keep going. But it ain't easy. Fedor's right. It ain't that easy.
I don't think anybody.
How did you sleep after it was all over?
I've not slept yet.
He's not slept yet. It was done a couple of hours ago. Look at the state of him.
I've not slept yet. I've been up for nearly a full day. I went back to the hotel and went to the steam room and the sauna. Now I came back to the pool room to sort a few things out, and then I'm going to leave and drive back home. I got to go to the Derby in a couple of days. I think I got to start practicing for the Derby. I'm not in stroke.
Yeah, you're looking a bit rusty.
And you're not in stroke. That's pretty good.
He's not been playing much recently.
Yeah. You have to straighten out that 9-ball stroke.
You have to work on your safety game the next week.
Yeah. But no, I'm looking forward to the Bigfoot, especially after playing on this table. It's going to play the exact same as the Bigfoot. Slick, slidey.
Buckets.
This is one thing about this table. The balls were brand new sets of balls, so they were always clean. If we had like a run of like 200 or 300, as soon as that was done, we'd change the balls out and put a brand new set in. Yeah. So the table was playing good, but it was slick. So when you had like a little draw shot, instead of drawing normal, it would like come back like a foot. So you got it's like instead of drawing the ball, you're like stunning it. It comes back with a stun shot. Jim knows what I'm talking about. This is like on a brand new cloth. It's such a tricky little shot. So when you're breaking, when it's like that, there's always a chance you can hit the side of the stack and go straight in the corner.
Yeah.
So that's why I was leaving a bigger angle so that would never happen to me.
But you were leaving the perfect angle because it was just a case of pot the ball and they're going to split. I don't have to worry about where it's hitting the pack. The cue ball's going in at an angle that's just going to go through them, kind of thing,
Yeah, and I thought to myself, if I play it like that, the chances of me scratching are very slim, and if I scratch, it's just unlucky. That way, if I go the other side of the rack and cut the ball in and hit the side of the stack and hit 2 balls, I'll scratch in the corner all day.
Yeah,
it did happen to me a few times. So I kind of after the first day, I kind of tried to change it up. But I put some like big numbers up in 5 days. I think the first day I had 5 runs over 200.
Yeah.
A bunch of hundreds, 150s, 140s, bunch of 300s, 400, a lot of 250s, a lot of 280s, 290s.
How did your body hold up, Jayson, throughout the...
My body's really sore right now. Like, literally, I don't know if you can see my hands, but I've got blisters all over the front of my fingers.
Okay.
Like, all right here on each finger from playing so much.
Okay.
It's because you've never done a proper day's work in your life. You've got lady hands.
I was leaving here. I came the very first day I got here. I started at like 9 in the morning, and I played until like 3. Then I came back at 7, and I played until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I did that every day for 5 days. And then yesterday, I left. And then I changed my mind, and I came here at 8:30 and stayed until now.
What made you change your mind?
I just had a feeling that I could do it. Aura was like, do you think you can do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm right there. I know it. And she's like, well, if you want to stay, then just stay if you think you can do it. And I'm like, okay, we'll stay.
Congratulations, buddy. We're proud of you.
Just had the feeling, man.
Well, you energize, Jayson. You energize the entire pool world throughout the world with what you did.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's fun seeing so many people. Hopefully, man, we can get a big straight pool tournament. That'd be fun. Hopefully there's more interest in straight pool. There's a lot of interest in one pocket and all the other games. Why not straight pool?
Oh, I believe this will help that whole thing for sure.
Jayson, there's been a lot of talk about like 1,000 and actually running 1,000. What do you think about that? Do you think it's possible?
Man, it's tough. Like, look at me, right? I'm on 714 there. I'm cruising, and I land perfect on the break shot, and then I hit the break absolutely perfect and get an unlucky scratch. It happens. It happens all the time. You wouldn't believe how many times you look back and you think, wow, I was on like 290 or 3 whatever, and you get a skid. I was on 397 and I got a skid in the side pocket on the 9-ball. It missed the full pocket altogether. I tried to cut it in the side with a little bit of spin, and it went past the side. It skid that bad.
Yeah, you had a 3-ball in the corner too that skidded a little bit on you.
I had 2 skids the full time I was here in 5 days.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, what I was saying to the guys earlier, the thing that kind of impressed me the most is, I mean, from chasing my own target, which is nowhere near like the 714s and stuff like that, you start to your body and your mind tells you to play the easier shot rather than the correct shot. But you seem to keep doing that, even when you were approaching the total, when you were approaching Willie Mosconi's and when you were approaching John's, you still played the correct shot, even though it was a tougher shot than what you possibly could have played. Was that something that you were consciously having to do, or was it still coming naturally at that time during the run?
It was just coming naturally. I had got to a stage where I had been at 29, 28. I'd been at every number except from like 25. Stuck on 25. I've been stuck in every one, and I knew once I got past 30 that all I had to do was put 5 racks together, and the first 3 is all I have to do is leave a good angle, and then the last 2 you're just pot a ball and go into the stack and break a couple out. But the way the balls were opening was just incredible. So I was just in that flow. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just let it flow, and then he said to me, "You've done it," and then I realized that I had beat it. I never even knew. I was just still running out, and he wasn't trying to tell me, which was good. He just let me do it and then told me.
Yeah.
This was the 626 or the 526?
The 526, and then I knew the 626.
What was going through your mind when you pulled up to like 625, 626, 627?
I just knew. I was actually screaming. If you
He was screaming at the camera.
Yeah, I was screaming in the camera. I was shouting, "Come on, yes!" I was like going nuts. You got to remember, I've been up here all night doing this. Like I've been here for 5 days. It's like you're digging somewhere to find gold, and finally after 5 days you find it.
But you know, you were screaming and shouting when you were still 2 balls short.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm thinking, now we're going to get a kick. Now we're going to get a skid. Now we're going to get something stupid happening.
do you know what's really weird? Even though I had 2 skids, I think the one I had the first time with the 9 over the side, I put a lot of spin on the ball, so it can happen with spin. And then the other one, when I missed the combo, when I looked back at the video, I thought the balls were frozen, but when I looked back, they weren't frozen. So I think it was kind of my own mistake. I thought that was a skid, but I don't really think it was. So overall, I wasn't really scared of slow rolling anything or thinking I was going to. I never thought in my mind, not one time through that full run on the last set, did I ever think I was going to scratch. Not one time.
Is that the first time that you've played where it's been when the rack's been tapped or the table's got a mat on it? Because normally there's always hand racking with the straight pull, isn't it?
Look, it's here. Look.
Yeah, so that makes a difference because you're getting the same rack every single time.
Yeah, it's like it's good. But so I tell you what, sometimes when earlier on in the sets though, I was breaking and. Sometimes if they're not touching properly, like if you use the magic rack and you don't get it frozen properly.
Yeah.
You go into the stack from the side and then one row just opens and the rest of the balls are stuck in the stack. Yeah. So there was a lot of times I had to hit the ball in the corner and go into the stack and smash them all over the place. I did that a few times and I got lucky where the break ball landed or I had a chance to kick the break ball into position. But, I'm exhausted, man. My full body is absolutely in bits. My legs feel like somebody stole them. I'm not joking. That I left here, went to the hotel, and I went to the steam room, and I fell asleep in the steam room for 40 minutes.
Yeah. How's your neck?
Oh, everything's my neck and my neck is fine, but my left shoulder, my shooting hand, that feels like there's a brick in there or something that just feels heavy.
Gee,
Yeah. Tough,
Do you
man.
think? Do you think it's? I mean, I don't know. Have they mentioned who's coming there? Who's going to be the next couple of players that are coming down? Have they mentioned that to you? Is there anyone?
No.
Is there anyone on your radar who you think that's somebody that might do it?
I'm not sure. It's tough. It's not easy, man. You got to remember, you're stuck in here. It's not a pool room. You're not in a pool room. You're in it's like a private billiards academy. So it only has like members. Like, there's no
atmosphere.
Random people. No random people. It's just like 8, 9 tables, and the members just come in and out. So it's quiet. It's like, it's not the same as being in a pool room or anything like that, because it gets to a point where it's super silent. It just kind of feels strange at times. So that's why I was kind of trying to listen to music.
What music did you have on your earpods?
Do you know, you wouldn't believe this? Do you know when I was running out? You know, when the start of the run, I had this like wavy.
No.
I had stress relaxation music on. No, listen, I'm telling you, for about 10 minutes, and then I couldn't handle the weird sound it was making after about 10 minutes, but it was doing all right. Then I changed it and I started listening to Irish rebel music. I did. I started listening to Irish rebel music, man, and I was like dancing about for a little while, and then I switched that off and I was listening to just like dance music.
Taylor Swift.
It was funny when I was on like 5. What was I on? No, 6. Yeah, 5:20 or something. I got my phone. I knew I was out. Before it, I knew I was going to get out, and I had my phone and I had my earphones in, and I clicked on the stream, and I could hear someone talking that was out there talking on the stream, and I was listening to him saying he's going to shoot this ball in the corner, and like, I hope he doesn't scratch. And I'm like, get my earphones out. Get my earphones out my ears, man. So I don't want to be listening to that. And then I can hear once.
Listening to somebody commentating on you.
5:26. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is history. Like, I can hear him, and I'm laughing while I'm running out. He's the owner of this place. Like, this is his academy, so he's like super ecstatic. You know what I mean? Because they had like Shane here, had Earl here,
Ruslan.
I had Ruslan here. Ruslan was supposed to come, but I don't know why he's not here.
Well, we almost missed it because the stream went down, and then they were just doing updates on Facebook, and we couldn't watch it live. And I was getting up and saying, just pick up your telephone and stick it in front of the table. And
no. So they've got a camera where they have this system out there too. So if Facebook goes down, this camera has got like 2 different systems where it'll record the full thing, so that you can run it back. You know what I mean? So because Facebook will kick you off.
Yeah.
They've got one of those.
OBS allow you to record locally.
They've got one of those things, Nate, that you, it's like something that costs like $8,000. It's like
$8,000 for anything unless somebody gave
it. It's like a box, but you can see the inside, and it's got all these like colors and like wires and all that. It's like a super expensive thing.
The tower.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm not a computer guy.
It's the tower. Yeah, it's so the OBS allows you to push the stream as well as record locally. So from what I saw, just from watching the video, they're recording it locally as well as pushing it out. So that's they'll have a local copy of it, even though Facebook kicked them off.
Did you lose any weight, Jayson?
Fuck those, man.
Did you weigh yourself before you started?
I ate a lot of chocolate while I was sitting here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I had to keep fueling myself up. But to be honest, I just had water, vitamin water. This was my friend while I was playing.
Advil, liquid gels.
Sure.
There's only about 4 left in it. This was my after the first day, I was like, man, my back's killing me, man. I'm like, this is tough.
No.
I'm like, this ain't easy. And they're like, oh yeah, Earl was here. He's like 16. I was like, okay, I can't really say much if he's been here. So I'll just like not say anything. They're like, how are you feeling? I'm like, yeah, brand new. And I'm like stretching. I've got my leg up on. If you watch back in the stream, I'm like got my leg up on the chair I'm sitting on now, midway through like the run, and I'm like stretching my legs out, and it's tough, man. You're standing non-stop and bending down in the same position, doing the same thing for what, 12, 13 hours a day, maybe more.
Yeah.
How many hours?
So
what was the actual time of the run?
2 hours and 48 minutes.
2 hours.
you ran
Wow.
700 balls
Wow.
in 2 hours.
Wow.
You seriously ran 700 balls in 2 hours?
2 hours and 48 minutes.
It took John. What was
Do
John
the
Schmitts
math,
like? Wasn't
Nate.
it like? Wasn't
Took
it
John
like
Schmitts
6
minute.
hours?
Took John Schmidt 2 days.
Yeah.
He ran 300 the first day, then recorded the next one the other day, and then stuck the video together. Perfect.
That's crazy. 2 hours 48.
No, I think it took him 4 hours and 30 minutes to run his.
That's incredible.
That's nuts, man.
Because he
So,
doesn't play. He's not a super fast player. He plays quick, but to run 6:26 is like 4 hours 30 minutes for him. That's a decent time.
That's all right. Yeah, I would think that's pretty. That's reasonable.
I was running 10 racks in 27 minutes.
How do you fucking 50 racks in 2 hours and 50 minutes? That's Jesus Christ. I can't even do the maths on that.
Some guy just told me the maths on it is crazy. Like
170, it's 3 minute racks with racking.
Yeah, and he had like
3.5 minute racks with racking.
He's saying that it's like 18 seconds a shot.
But that's the average for the whole match. You've got to take the racking time out of it as well.
And the celebration, you jumped up and down a couple
10
times.
seconds a shot.
Yeah, I didn't do this for nothing. You know, this is not just for having a high run. Like, I didn't do this for free.
Nobody does.
So you tested
listen,
yourself.
I got like a lot of stuff, man, from like newspapers, like New York Times, like all sorts of people. Got like 5 different people contacting me.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Good.
That is good. That's a good thing.
Push it properly. Get a good marketing team on it, and make the most out of it, mate. Because you fucking deserve that.
You deserve it.
How about the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Yeah,
not the bikini issue though, eh?
The bikini.
This guy.
Well, we
this
could
guy
put him in
that's
a
in
Manscaped set of undies.
Yeah, this guy that's in charge. There's like a team of them, so he's taking care of all that stuff. And
Awesome.
I'm already like in on everything, and I know what's going to happen. So, you know, it's fun. I enjoyed it. I had a good time, and I did this all just because, like, leading up to the Derby as well. You know, I last year I didn't really do well, man, just because like it's just the business, and I didn't really have a lot of time to practice as much as I should have. Not using the business as an excuse, maybe my own fault for not getting up and practicing for a few hours here and there. But when you're busy working all the time, it's tough to get motivated to do both, you know what I mean? So I wanted to start like practicing hard, and I did that last year before the Mosconi Cup, so I got myself in that buzz, and then obviously I've just been practicing ever since. And yeah, hopefully I can just keep playing, and I think mentally my mind has changed. I feel like I'm just in that, like, I don't know, I think I'm in my prime right now. I think everything's good.
Anybody who runs
good in my
2,000
life.
balls in 5 days has got to be pretty much in his prime.
Yeah, but I just feel like everything's good in my life. You know, I'm not really worried about anything, so I can just kind of sit back now and do what I do best and play pool instead of worrying about working or, you know, doing a lot of shit at the pool room.
So, Jayson, how much contact have you had with John Schmitts since this happened?
Oof. Yeah, all I know is today's the most he's used Facebook in the last 10 years.
Hey guys.
Bobby.
How's it going?
Good. We just reviewed the video. Everything's correct. No errors, no fouls. 7-14 is official.
Awesome, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's
Y'all guys did a great job.
Thank you. 20 years in the making.
Yeah, brilliant.
Pretty incredible
Thank you very
stuff.
much for letting me know that. That was amazing.
20 years in the making, and Joe Young Eagle Eye strolled in 5 days and ruined it all. No, you know, listen, I think, 626 is not to be sniffed at. It was great, and obviously didn't last too long, but, I'm sure he'll have a few more runs, but 7-14's there to stay for a while, so whoever wants to try it, go ahead.
Are you
Good
going to
luck.
get...
Yeah, I wish you all the best. Get a big bag of Advil. You need plenty of these for your back. These, you need plenty of these. BioFreeze. You need to
And a
take
big bag of chocolate.
You need to take your shoes off every couple of hours while you're playing and play a few racks with your shoes off, just to give your toes some air in that. And I've literally got blisters all over my hands and on my toes and everything. I think this might have been the hardest thing I've ever done playing pool. I used to play pool 12 hours a day when I was younger, and this is just hardcore. Really hardcore.
Can we expect the shirts with Mr. 700 or Mr. 714 on the back of them now?
I don't know. I'll see. I'll text John. I'll text John and see if it's allowed. Nah, he'll be all right. Hey, listen, whatever it is, what it is. If people want it, then I'll get it for them. But it's good to have him. I'm glad I stuck around. And I knew my gut was telling me something was telling me to stay. I don't know what it was, but maybe my determination to prove that I could do it.
You made history, buddy.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jayson.
I think it not really kicked in yet because I've not really been to sleep and my head's all over the place. I'm still thinking about some of the stuff that happened during the match, like all my other big runs. Like I was on, like who knows? One of them could have been bigger than what I got, or for like a skid or whatever. It's just.
But that's the game. It's a crazy game. It's a nutty game.
These were your runs starting at 90 of
today
of the last session.
Yeah, this was my runs. My last session: 380, 90, 98. 298, 253, 98, 154, and 714.
154 is the inning before that.
Yeah.
You had a 154 before the 714, so it could have connected for 868.
True.
Coulda, woulda, should have. It's a 714.
Yeah. That's okay.
Brilliant.
So Bobby, what do you think? Bobby, how are you feeling after this?
I'm old and exhausted, if you want to know the truth. I mean, I've been trying to promote the game for a long time, and I went to did commentary down at the International Straight Pool. Down by the International American Straight Pool. I'm sorry, for every day it was open. Then I went to Turning Stone and start talking to some of the players. They approached me, and this has never been done before. You got to understand, it's never been done where pool players, you take them out of their element and try to get them to run high runs, unlimited times. With some motivation, it's never been like an event, except for maybe Derby City, but that was small change and a few thousand or something here or there. Then at Valley Forge a couple times, that was the same thing. But the truth be known, I'm hearing stories like hundreds of players have been trying to break Willie Mosconi's record. I've interviewed like everybody, Varner and Siegel and all these. None of these guys ever tried. The only person that confirmed they tried was Earl. And he said that he ran 480. He locked himself in a room for a month.
Yeah.
So this is something that's never been done. So I want to let you know, because I'm a big billiard historian. I know a lot about straight pool. I learned from Lassiter and I knew Willie Mosconi. Willie would be proud right now. I want to let you know. Not only would he be proud, Willie would be the type that would congratulate you and pull his pool cue out the next day and try to beat it. He was very competitive. Willie was a little ornery, but he respected people's, what they won and what they accomplished. So This isn't the end of our event, by the way. We're going to do other things. We're going to have some challenge matches. We're going to have a women's division. Or we'll probably put together some high money matches also. But right now, in pool, like Varner told me back in the day with Johnson City, was if you won the 9-ball championship, the world championship, you got a trophy, you got a little money. You won the one pocket, you got a trophy, you got a little money. If you won a straight pool, you were king of the world. And right now, the king of the world is Jayson Shaw.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's the bottom line. He
Yes, he is.
did not give up. I've never seen a person give up. I gave up a few times. I couldn't even stand up. I was racking the ball so much, to be honest with you. He wore my ass out. I mean, I was racking, trying to keep a pace with him, like if, maybe something was a little harder, maybe I racked a little slower. So a few times he was like almost like wanting to hit me while I wasn't finishing racking the last couple of balls. And I have the rack down where I can rack him, basically in like 10 seconds, 12 seconds, if needed to be. I couldn't rack quick enough for this guy. He's hyper. I don't know what else I can say, but he didn't end my event, but damn, he put one hell of a dent in it. And he's king of the world right now. So when the challenge matches come up, they have to make a challenge match with Jayson. I got to put him in the box right from the gate, And unfortunately, I only had 4 players that had attended this so far. And he's the leader. So the challenge matches start. We're hoping to put something together that's really big. I mean, not these $100,000 and $200,000 matches, but certainly, like a $40,000 or $50,000 winner take all is going to be happening soon, I'm sure. Nice. So we just got to find some opponents for him. That's who's gonna want to play him. I mean, I feel sorry for the people at Derby. I mean, he just won. Yeah. He just won the Moscone Cup. He just won Turning Stone. He just ran over 700 balls playing straight pool. I mean, 7 times, and he had a lot of pressure. And I commentated all the matches there, and he was stuck on the hill a couple times. He had to come back. He was 5-0 down to Earl, and he just came right back. And I think the next he won like the next 12 out of 14 games. So he never gave up, and I want to make sure y'all know he never gave up here either. He really, really tried. The story really went when we went out to dinner. I went to dinner with Jayson and his wonderful family, his wife and his children. And when we left, he was headed back to Connecticut, and just kind of bumped fist. And I thanked him for coming. And I was kind of sick in my stomach, like I really didn't want to see him go. And I could see he wanted to stay, and his wife was really pushing him to stay. But he was ready to go back, and then I'm on the phone. The next thing I get a call, he's calling. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just call back. Next thing you know, he's texting. Then he's texting. So then finally I got the phone. I said, you okay? He says, I'm not leaving, man. I'm going to play till 11 o'clock in the morning. So you better be ready in 2 hours to rack the balls. So he's going to so he was committed basically that he wanted to put down the play for another 14 hours. Wow. He wasn't leaving. He wanted to leave with, here's what the bottom line is. It wasn't about the money with Jayson. Okay. It was about that he wanted to play and set a point, but it just so happens that he's driving a Brinks truck home for his accomplishment.
Nice.
So that's that. I can't say more than that. And there's other things that are going to happen with this. Hopefully this will get him some well-known publicity and some sponsorship and other things also that should happen. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to push everything I can. Right now, as we're talking, we got USA Today, the New York Times, Washington Post. Who was the other outlet that they just said that somebody was talking about?
The Cue It Up Network, I think.
Yeah, Cue It Up. Yeah, there you go, guys. Anyway.
No way.
Hey, I don't see y'all on our sponsorship.
You need at least 1,000. You need at least 1,000 to get the Cue It Up Network involved.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of activity here the next couple of days, and he's got such a busy schedule. But I want to let you know, he told me, he says, I want to be the person that runs 700 balls in this table. He says, I hope that you don't have anybody in because I'm coming the next day after Derby. So just schedule me in. And I just happen to have a gap because I got players scheduled. And I just happen to have that gap. And then no more than that, I just got a message from Darren Appleton and Lee Van Cortez wanted to play. And they wanted to fill that gap in. And Jayson asked for it. And I told him, okay, you got it. So he was going to come back on the second of the month. And he couldn't stand it. His stomach, he had the pain in his stomach. He wanted to get something done. He was just trying to, he wanted to run 500. I don't think he was expecting 700. Honestly.
No, that was my goal. 500 nods was my goal. 526 was my goal to to get there. But when I got past it and I got to 600, well, I got to like 580. I just knew I was going to hit a good number. Everything was going my way. Earlier in the other days, it wasn't, but we spoke about it outside. Like, we took a little break.
Yeah.
We was talking. We just said, look, if it's going to happen, it'll happen. It'll be there. You know, you've had many times where you've been right there and you've got bad rolls. You just need one good roll, and then things will change, and that's what happened.
The only thing I told Jayson when he came, I said, I just want you to have fun, enjoy yourself, and I won't be coaching you. And I told him the same thing I tell everybody else. I don't know everything about straight pool, but I just don't know many people know more than me. And we discussed some patterns. We discussed some things, you know, along the lines of some other things. And the bottom line is, if you got to see him play the last few days, he wore that 3-ball triangle pattern out. I mean, he wore it out. I mean, he just made the game look so simple. He dissecting the racks. I don't know what else I can say, but I'm glad y'all got the first interview with him. And
who else? It's a cute yeah.
Yeah.
Was he going to turn Jason?
I do want to say, I do want to say, Bobby, thank you for jumping in and talking with us a little bit right there. And I think it'd be nice to get you on for your own episode someday and just chat about what you're doing, because I think it's a pretty awesome thing, and it's unfortunate
who am I speaking with? Who's that talking?
Nate.
Oh, Nate, I think you just sent me a friend request on Facebook.
Yeah, I sent you a friend request a couple
days
days ago because I wanted to get you on.
But you got to understand, I mean, honestly, I'm just like y'all. I get hundreds of them all the time.
Of course.
And I haven't gone to list, and I saw your name, and I apologize. I didn't erase it, but I will click that, and you can set that meeting up, and just give me like maybe a day or something to recover. I don't drink, but I can assure you none of us are going to drive out of here.
Nate, don't go sending him those naked photos. You know, keep it professional this time.
Yeah, we're all
gonna
drink and pass out.
Jason, say hello to Lily. She watched your last 15 racks with me.
Yeah. Little Lily.
She watched the last 15 racks with me. She loved it. He was asleep the entire time.
I'm going to have to go get some blood pressure meds.
This was my view every time I run a couple of racks. I come over and look out the window. Come over and I'd have a little look out and I'd say, don't fuck it up. Come on, G, let's go. This might be the best bit. This might be the best picture.
Losing the connection.
Look at this big Scottish guy on top of the pool table.
Right, I'm gonna go upstairs. Guys, enjoyed it. Jason, well done, man. That was amazing. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Get some sleep. Take care driving, yeah?
Congratulations, Jason. Hope we lost him.
We'll be watching you at the Derby, Jason.
Yeah.
Guys, look, and I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Yeah, well, we didn't get anywhere. Yeah, go on, Jim. We didn't get anywhere close to everything we needed to get discussed today. So I think what I'm finding out is we're like an hour and 32 minutes in at this point. I got to do an ad at least. If you guys want to hang around for this ad at least.
I got to mount, but
yeah,
we'll do another show this week, Nate.
I think we're going to have to do another show this week, maybe Thursday or something like that. What do you Panozzo, Mike, you guys in?
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, we'll have to get another one in. So for everybody around that's still tuning in, thank you very much for watching that. And if you like what you heard with the show and you want to help support the future of it, support our sponsors. As you can see, we got Predator Qs up there in the top right. We got Solato Pro app, and we got the One Pocket. But we also have some outside money in the industry, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. I don't know what you're doing, Rob, but we are sponsored by Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0. And here's our awesome. All right, come on, knock it off. Okay, there we go. All right, we're just going to get rid of him. All right, cheers to 2022 and resolutions you can actually keep. How about having clean and shiny balls all year round? Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to save your balls this year and make the ball drop from 2022 the cleanest and sexiest ever. What a read. Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code QItUpPod for 20% off plus free shipping. Are you done yet, Rob?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, you're good. All right, so I'm done removing you from that. That's interesting. This is the best way to support the podcast. If you like what we're doing here, support the sponsors who support our show. And yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in today. Hopefully, it was a good show for all you guys. And
Oh, I like this show today.
Probably on Thursday, I guess. What do you think? We'll probably go about Thursday around noon or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, something like that, Central U.S. time. Does that sound about right?
Perfect.
Something like that. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you, I guess, later this week.
Well, we might as well get Earl on.
But you get him on and we'll have him. All right. All right.